Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. Today, I welcome Ali onto the show where we're going to be talking about confidence and really owning who we are, affirmations, hypnosis, and many, many more things for discussion. So a quick introduction to Ali, and then we'll dive into our conversation today. So Ali created Desire for Change 16 years ago, where Ali helps people let go of what is holding them back in life and then build the future they want. Ali is a hypnotherapist, life coach, and elite dual neuroencoding specialist, part of my community, and a fellow elite specialist as well. So, Ali, welcome to the show. Great, like we were just saying, great we can make this happen finally. I know we've had a few reschedules. So yeah, it'd be really interesting, first of all, to hear that obviously you're helping people move through like what's holding them back, really build confidence in themselves. I know you got a lot of passion for that, becoming more of they want and designing their future. What's really your inspiration for doing that with people? It'd be really interesting just to get a bit of an understanding.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. And my passion really started from myself, like most therapists.
Hmm.
As a child and a younger adult, I had no confidence whatsoever. Everyone was, oh, Ali won't do that. She's got no confidence. She's too shy. And I suppose I grew up with that belief. And I always wanted to help people. And I was doing jobs that massive imposter syndrome, didn't think I was enough. And really sadly, when I was 40, I lost my mum.
Mm.
And in that moment, I realized life was so short. And what am I doing? And I resigned within 2 weeks from my job. I was doing a
Wow.
psychology degree at the time. I finished that and I went into hypnosis because I felt that was something that could help people so quickly. It was so powerful. And I realized that actually we all have the confidence within us. It's just the story we tell ourselves. You know, you're not born with or without confidence. It's a skill. And if everyone
Mm.
tells you you're not confident, or you tell yourself you're not confident, well, guess what? You're not confident. And if I tell people now that I was so shy, I didn't have any confidence, they look at me like, really? So it's my passion. I want to help people feel confident about themselves, let go of that past, let go of the story they're telling themselves, and start really living their lives. They don't have to go through a really emotive time like I had to
Mm.
losing my mum. It's there, it's within them. They're enough, they've got
Mm.
it. So I want to help you find it.
Mm. I can really see your from just how you expressed that your passion for that and discovering and having that realization that actually life's short, and then wow, to you making that huge courageous to kind of like
Mm.
move away from your job is an amazing thing, and now you're trying to get that out of other people as well. So for you, in terms of like getting that confidence with it with inside yourself, was it that you started changing your self-talk? Was it that you just kept pushing yourself to take courageous action? Because I know some people are like, right. I'm going to build myself up enough to talk myself into being confident and then doing the action. So what was it for you? Was it a little bit of a combination of both?
I suppose for me, I think I did it the hard way, of
Mm.
course. So it was really pushing myself, and sometimes I'd feel quite sick about like, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I'd always have that self-doubt in my head. But my sort of the way I presented myself to the world was like I had that confidence. It was like I was play acting with it to start with. But over
Mm.
the years, I've learnt so many different tools and how you can actually shortcut yourself to having amazing confidence. And it really does start with what you tell yourself. You
Mm.
know, what we do, what we say to ourselves, how other people treat us becomes our blueprint of who we believe we are. And if we believe we're something, doesn't matter what other people tell us. It's like for us, that's the truth. So we have to start with telling ourselves a different story. And that's where, for me, affirmations and visualization come in.
Mm. Changing the story. Yeah, it's I'm going for a hugely powerful program at the moment, and it's we're doing
Mm,
like all sorts of things like creating mind movies that I never heard of, and it's that really connects the kind of you're making a movie, sound, emotion, and yeah, really involves that visualization part and feeling more into who you are, and some of the things that kind of show up for me are amazing. So I definitely love the visualization part and the
mm.
affirmations. So tell us a little bit more about like the affirmation sort of process you do. Is it something that you're like doing every morning, every evening? Is it just
Okay.
something you keep doing and having to remind yourself?
Okay. Um, for me, I part of what I do to help my clients, I
Mm,
record affirmations. I've got loads of different ones that they can listen to. So
mm,
you've got, they're on my YouTube channel, and that's the easiest way of doing it. Is find one that you like, start listening to it. But
mm,
then I think as you get used to listening to this positive talk all the time, start creating your own, record it into your phone, write a list of the things that you want to be and
mm,
record it. For me, my bathroom mirror has post-it notes all around it. I have notes on my phone. My screensaver is a positive affirmation. For me, they're everywhere because let's face it, our mind isn't there to make us confident or happy, it's there to protect us. So it has a negative bias. So we
mm,
need to counteract that. And most of my clients go, yeah, but Ali, I can't do that. I'll be lying to myself. Well, the way I'd answer that is, aren't you lying to yourself already?
mm,
You are confident enough. You have everything you need within you. You just don't believe it yet. So the more you say it, the more you'll start to believe it. And with that visualization, it's funny, like you were saying, you were going through all this visualization now, and it is really powerful. But not everyone is visual.
mm,
Like myself, I see nothing in my head, nothing at all. But I've learned over the years that if you're not a visual person, you still are visual subconsciously. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be able to find yourself around your home. You wouldn't be able to drive to work. You wouldn't remember anything. So
mm,
you have to have something in there. So I just say the words and feel it. I
mm,
can't see it. So visualization is one of those things some people just
mm,
go, I can't do it. You can. You are visual, but it's deep, deep down and you can't see it.
mm. Yeah, that's a really good point. Thanks for the reminder about like some of us quite like. Are you quite an auditory person, quite like hearing things, or a
No, I'm
feely
very
kind?
kinesthetic.
You're
It's
yeah,
feeling for me.
kinesthetic. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yeah, super interesting. It's yeah, it always has to take that in mind when I'm quite like visual and I'm talking
Mm.
to a kinesthetic person. It's like, can you see what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's.
I'm married to someone
Do you
that's,
feel what
yeah,
I'm?
exactly. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
married to someone that's highly visual. So he thinks that it's really strange I can't see pictures in my head. And a lot of my language is actually now visual, even though I'm not visual because of
Mm,
communicating with my husband. So it's really strange how you adapt. Um, Everyone's modality is different, and you've got to do what works for you. There's different ways of visualizing. There's different ways of affirmations,
mm,
saying them to yourself. If I'm going to an important meeting or something, I'll be in the car and I'll choose three really important ones and I will just say them over and over and over and over again. And when I get there, I can really feel it. But someone else might want to listen to it through their phone because
mm.
they're more auditorial. So you have to do what's right for your modality and for you because it makes it more powerful.
Yeah, I think that's really good bit of guidance. I feel for someone because we're not telling. One thing might work for one person, another. Even then,
Mm,
you had to remind me of like the different types of,
mm,
styles we got and
mm.
visualization. But it's also a really interesting point about how it's embedded deep. So, Ali, kind of touching on that when you went into the unconscious, hypnotherapy,
Mhm.
be really for like the listener who's perhaps a little bit unfamiliar to what hypnotherapy is.
Yeah.
Could you tell us, like, briefly, maybe what that is and how that may be useful for developing your confidence?
Okay. I think if you don't know about hypnosis, it can feel very scary and a bit
Mm,
woo and out there, because it's like the hypnotherapist is going to mess with my mind. You know, what if I
Mm,
can't get out of hypnotherapy? Can I be hypnotized? There's all these questions. Hypnosis is just focus. That's all it is.
mm,
And you go in and out of hypnosis naturally all the time. So, Johnny, have you ever been on a journey in the car that you do over and over again? Maybe quite a long journey. And then all of a sudden you think, "Ah, how am I here already?" It's like, where's that part of that journey gone?
yeah,
You're
certainly.
driving in hypnosis.
Mm,
If you're watching a really good film, or you're looking out of a window at a really lovely view or something where time just goes, that's hypnosis. So it's a very natural state, and it's just focus. And what the hypnotherapist does is use that focus to give you positive sort of beliefs and help you to think in a different way, so it's more powerful. And then it's a little bit like having, I don't know, two little birds on your shoulder. Unconscious says one thing, conscious mind says something else. And that's why, if you want to say lose weight or eat healthily, that you've got that real determination, but then all of a sudden you're eating a bar of chocolate. It's like your conscious and unconscious mind are not congruent. They're not saying the same thing.
mm,
Where with hypnosis, you can get them to say the same thing. So it's like consciously you want to lose weight and unconsciously you want to lose weight, then it's easy.
mm, mm. Getting the unconscious lined up with the conscience, the
Mm,
conscious. You're saying.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah. And also, the way I work with hypnosis is I do something that's called content free.
Mm,
So if you've got something that is very painful, or you don't want to go and talk about it, I can just help you let go of it. And the problem is, we go through life and it's like we've got a rucksack on our back. And every time we have an emotion we can't deal with, it like we put it in a jam jar and put it in our rucksack. And we're
mm,
upright to start with. And then we just seem to be tipping more back, and we can't cope with life because everything's weighing us down. It's really, really heavy. And content free is a little bit like, just sit down for a moment. Let's take that rucksack off and let's just open these jam jars and just let them go. We don't have to fill them. Don't have to deal with them. We just let them go. And what we don't realize is a lot of the things we hold on to, we can't actually explain. It could be a sensation, it could be a color, it could just be an image, it could be a feeling. And we could be storing it in our chest, our throat, even our feet.
mm,
How can you explain that? But you're carrying it around with you. Where content-free hypnosis, you just let it go, and it gives you the space, and you never leave a void. You always fill it, and then you can fill it with lots of good things, how you want to feel, how you want
mm,
to eat, more confidence. And then you can go forward feeling lighter, brighter, and you haven't got that heaviness that's holding you back. That's the easiest way of describing how I work.
mm. I like that. So it's not a case of trying to feel why certain things happen in a certain way and why is that there. It's
You
just
don't have
okay.
to replay it.
Yeah,
Mm,
you don't have to replay it. It's about just releasing it.
yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Mm,
it's important. And for you, like we talk about, you talked about some of your clients may like listen to stuff on repeat. Um, they might maybe they do look at it. Maybe it's like tape to them.
mm.
Do you find just interesting to hear people you work with maybe in your own journey that sometimes there's a lot of like negative mental junk, sort of junk food coming in that sometimes we have to reduce for you?
Yeah. I think today's society, we are bombarded with so much,
Hmm.
and we always feel that, we're not enough, or we haven't got enough. And there's always this gap always, that we're
Mm,
striving for something. So we're taxing our brains, we're overthinking, we're overanalyzing. We've got so much up there that we just find life a struggle. And I think with initially I use hypnosis because that clears everything out. And then every time I see a client, I've got like a little mini course that they can use afterwards that has something they can listen to. So it's got hypnosis on it. I use also emotional freedom technique. I teach them
Oh,
that so they can use that. So there's always things that they can use to maintain it, because let's face it, you don't go to the gym once,
mm,
do loads of sit-ups, and then you've got a six pack. Mental health is just the same. So
mm,
I can clear all the rubbish out, I can put good stuff in, but we need things like affirmations, meditation, and really good practices in keeping our mind sort of healthy. Otherwise, we go back to that stage again. Not maybe 20 years of rubbish, but so I feel that this is a really good thing to do every 3 months. Just clear everything out, know what you want, as we know, it's
mm,
very important, and then put the good stuff in to help us get to where we want to go.
mm. Yeah, there's a really good analogy I liked about like you're not just going to the gym once, right? It could,
Mm,
you could I did 75 hard last year, and it's a case of like
remember.
get into, really good shape. Not that I was in terrible shape before anyway, but like get into really good shape. But to maintain that
Mm,
energy, that habit, it's like you do all that. Well, it's probably a bit of a more length of time, 75 days, obviously, than a session. But
mm,
there's the ongoing conditioning of the
mm,
food, the exercise, and also the there is a mental side to it as well.
mm,
Um, and I think I've been guilty of forgetting that on my mental health as well in the past. It's like, right, okay, I've gotten a good place, I've done this work, but then I can go back into maybe scrolling a bit too much, or
mm,
thinking down a certain pathway I hadn't. So
mm.
I like the way you're supporting people for success with things like here's an ongoing affirmation practice, here's an
Yeah,
ongoing. So I think that's super, super important.
definitely, definitely.
Love that. So yeah, like Ali, obviously there's lots that you give the world. There's
Mm,
you've got your practice. You're helping lots of like clients in different ways. Where just before we sort of like wrap up today, if you were to
mm.
give your number one confidence tip, maybe something we've said in this episode already, maybe
Okay.
something else you want to share, what
Mm.
would that be?
Okay, for me, I think the biggest confident killer is, let's say you're at step one or two
Hmm.
with let's say with fitness or weight loss, and your aim is 10. So you might need to lose 2 stone, or you might be so unfit that you want to run a marathon, but you can hardly walk a mile. If you keep on aiming for step 10, you're going to be beating yourself up, you're going to be losing confidence. And that gap, the gap in everything in life, is the thing that kills happiness, confidence, everything.
Hmm.
So at home, when you go upstairs, you don't go from step 1 to 10 because you fall flat on your face.
It's a
Yeah.
great
So,
analogy. I love
so
that.
don't do that. What's your next step and make it as easy as possible? So if you have 2 stone to lose, how am I going to lose the next pound? If you've got to get fit and you're hardly walking a mile, I'm going to walk a mile, and I'm going to do that for a week and see how I go. Or even if you're not walking a mile, if you're just doing 5 minutes, always look at your next step, because that builds confidence. And when you get to that step, praise yourself, tell yourself how great you're doing, and then go on to the next one. That builds confidence, and you'll get to your goal quicker.
Hmm. Yeah. Simple little steps. I know that's certainly worked for me. And just forgotten it sometimes in other
Mm,
areas. And actually, I know other people have done it in certain areas we don't even remember. Like it's taking our first steps, or going through school or whatever it was. It
yeah,
happened through small steps, and in the achiever world, sometimes I've been caught on. It's like, right, I've got to jump massively, right? So,
exactly. Mm. Yeah,
so
just think of those stairs.
yeah, think of those stairs. Really good one. You don't just jump unless you can fly, which I don't think anyone can. But like, go from 1 to 10, you go from 1 to 2, right? Brilliant. Cool. So yeah, Ali, where can people find you if they want to find out a little bit more about your work, what you're doing, want to connect with you?
Okay. My main place would be my website, which
Hmm.
is www.desireforchange.co.uk.
Hmm.
I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And I've also got another website, which is a membership site, which has got recordings of hypnosis, affirmations, meditation, and transformational tools, the stuff that we do at Neuroencoding.
Mm.
And at the moment, I'm offering that for 7-day trial for just £1. And
Wow.
that is www.blissbeyondborders.com.
Oh,
And
amazing.
all of those links are in my website, desireforchange.co.uk.
Oh, brilliant. Pound for 7 days. Wow. Incredible trial. So, Ali, you'll be sure to link that up because I know you got ton more value, a lot more we could share today, obviously, but to dive in more to your work, we'll be sure to link those up. So, thank you
Thank
so much for everything you've shared today. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Awesome. So that concludes our episode for today. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.